I live and work on a ranch in East Texas. My story really starts in an unusual way. I basically was going down the road to pick up my mail and my side-by-side, and I turned around and was coming back, a thing I've done a million times, and the tie rod broke on my side-by-side and put me into a metal fence. It just about decapitated my elbow and split open my knee. Needless to say, I ended up at CHRISTUS, because that's my health care provider. They patched me up, they put screws in my elbows and fixed my knee. And I did a Cologuard test earlier in February, and it came back negative. But my doctor, Dr. Gully, we talked about it, and because I had met my deductible with my insurance, we'd want to go ahead and do a colonoscopy because I hadn't had one done in 5 years. In May 29th of that year, they did a complete CAT scan of my body because I severely bruised some ribs and other things, and I didn't have a tumor in my colon at that time. Between May 29th and the end of 1st of August, around August the 13th, that tumor had grown to the size of a walnut and had metastasized into my liver with 7 other tumors. And Dr. Hutto did my colonoscopy and immediately put me in touch with Dr. Curley.
So he was diagnosed with colon cancer that had already spread to his liver. So by definition, that means he had stage 4 colon cancer. And that is something that we see not infrequently, but fortunately we have good treatments.
Because it was such an aggressive cancer, they decided it was best that I go through 6 heavy treatments of chemo, the most they could give me, just slow it down or try to stop it. And then we did that. And my count came down as the chemo was progressed, which is what they wanted to see, but it didn't go all the way to 0. So they went ahead and decided to remove 60% of my liver. Dr. Curley did that surgery.
So we did an operation where I removed a portion of the liver and also did a procedure on a tumor on the opposite side called a microwave ablation. He then got additional chemotherapy after recovering from that operation, and then finally underwent operation to remove the tumor in his colon.
Come to find out, they did a PET scan, which he ordered, Dr. Curley ordered, and it showed that I had another tumor developed on the side of the liver that they left in the very back of it. That didn't show up before. It was a very small one, but we needed to take care of it. So we made a decision to do a second surgery on the liver, and he did a microablation on that surgery, on that part of my liver, and I'm cancer-free now. So we're gonna watch it because it is metastatic and it can show up again, but I have full confidence that, you know, God's got this, God's had it all along.
So at this point, he has done very well after chemotherapy, 3 separate operations for his colon cancer, and has no evidence of tumor that we can detect. We are going to follow him very closely between myself and our colleagues in Texas Oncology to make sure that if something should recur, we jump on it right away.
I hadn't been through anything tougher than that, but it wasn't anything that God didn't prepare me for. You know, God being who He is, you know, sometimes bad things happen in your life to prevent other things from happening. Because had I not had that accident and not been through that, I'd have never known about the cancer before it was too late.